Let's set the stage. It's the early 2000s, and honestly, it feels like a financial party. Stock markets are hitting record highs, interest rates are super low, and it seemed like everyone was getting rich just by owning a home or some stocks. Banks? They're practically tossing out loans like confetti at a parade. But here's the thing. So many of those loans were what's called subprime. In plain English, that means banks were lending money to people who probably couldn't pay it back. Now, imagine this. You walk into a bank, and even if you can't really afford a house, they'll find a way to give you a mortgage. Why? Because home prices kept shooting up, and everyone assumed they'd just keep rising forever. That's what we call a housing bubble. And like most bubbles, it was bound to pop. At first, it looked like a win-win. More people bought homes, prices soared, and the illusion of endless growth took over. But there was a hidden danger. Most buyers just couldn't actually afford those mortgages. So, when prices stopped rising, people started defaulting. And when enough folks stopped paying, the whole bubble burst. But wait, it gets messier. Banks weren't just giving out risky loans. They were bundling these subprime mortgages into what's called mortgage-backed securities, or MBS. Basically, they took a bunch of risky home loans, packaged them up, and sold them to investors all over the world. Why would anyone buy them? Because they seemed safe, until suddenly they weren't. The belief that housing never goes down turned out to be one of the costliest assumptions in history. Then, disaster struck. In 2007, the housing market crashed. People couldn't pay their loans, so those fancy MBS investments started losing value. Banks that held tons of these, like Lehman Brothers, went under. Suddenly, the whole system started unraveling. Foreclosures skyrocketed, people lost their jobs, and the stock market plunged. It wasn't just an American problem anymore. The shockwaves hit economies everywhere. In 2008, governments had to step in with massive bailouts just to stop the world economy from completely collapsing. But even after the dust settled, the scars remained. Debt levels went up. Economic inequality widened. Confidence in banks and governments took a serious hit. And despite some reforms, instability still lingers in the system. So, what's the lesson here? The 2007 financial crisis was a wake-up call. It showed us that unchecked risk and pure greed don't just hurt Wall Street, they can shake the whole world. The big question now is, have we really learned from it, or are we just waiting for the next financial storm? If you found this video insightful, go ahead and hit like and subscribe for more deep dives like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.